Hello there folks, TaterCat here. Today we will be doing a review of another Junji Ito collection. This one is called Shiver. The first story in it is called Used Record. Two girls share an obsession over a mysterious record with no known artist or any sort of markings on the jacket or the record itself. When one of the girls steals it from the other, she accidentally kills her in order to keep the record for herself. She desperately runs around trying to find a record so she can listen to it again, but unfortunately all this does is draw eyes on her of other people who covet this record. So she's now having to escape from a bunch of other crazy people. I gave that one an 8.5. The next one is Shiver, the one that this book is titled after. The girl living next door to the protagonist has an arm that's full of little holes. The main character's grandfather also died, just his body completely full of holes. His friend finds his grandfather's journal that when he's over one day and discovers the cause of the holes is from the grandfather's past. Definitely this one, if you have, trypophobia or trichophobia, one of those, this is definitely one that will freak you out pretty bad. Gave that an 8 out of 10. Good body horror. Next one is Fashion Model. This guy has a bad feeling that he's trying to avoid because he says to himself anytime he gets this feeling, something bad really happens. While he's flipping through a magazine in a cafe, he stumbles across a picture of a very creepy looking model. When he and his friends go for a casting call for a movie they're making, the same creepy model from the magazine shows up. I gave this one a 6 out of 10. It's your pretty standard kind of monster story. The next one is Hanging Blimp. One morning, an idol is found hanging from a phone wire just outside of her apartment window, looking like she committed suicide. Not long after that, sightings of a giant version of her disembodied head starts floating over around the town at night. I gave this one a 10 out of 10 because I thought it was just... It got weird, but like a good kind of weird. And it reminds me a lot of the cartoon of Don Hartzfeldt's Billy's Balloon. I'll put in a real quick clip of why. The next one is Marionette Mansion. It's a family of puppeteers, a troupe of puppeteers, and the kids are just sick of doing it, so the older brother runs away. The younger brother and sister are with him until he dies. After the father's dead, they move into the city, and the brother and sister receive a letter from their long-lost brother. He says to come visit them, so they visit him, and he has this custom-built house, and along with his wife and child are suspended from strings from the ceiling, saying that they're being controlled by the servants, like the puppeteers. He built his house on this phrase he kept saying of the puppet controls the puppeteer. It's just some weird philosophy he has. I wasn't really into it, so I gave it a 6 out of 10. The next one is a Tomie story. A famous painter becomes obsessed with a woman named Tomie who is looking for an artist to, quote, immortalize her beauty. It reminds me a lot of the picture of Dorian Gray. It's kind of a similar thing, I guess. It's kind of a similar thing, but it doesn't go as it doesn't go in the same direction as Dorian Gray does. The next one is called The Long Dream. A man is admitted to a psychiatric hospital suffering from dreams that are rapidly feeling longer and longer. Even over just one night's sleep in the dreams, days, months, and even years pass. I gave this one an 8 out of 10. It's another one of those stories where someone gradually goes insane. That's kind of I guess it's kind of very reminiscent of Inception, where they go into the dream and years pass and they live their entire life inside of this dream when in reality it was 5 minutes or something. The next one is called Honored Ancestor. A girl loses her memory after an unknown event. She then visits the home of a boy she was close to, and she's plagued by this overwhelming anxiety and hallucinations of a giant caterpillar. The concept behind this one is just, again, it's obviously bizarre. It's fucking Junji Ito. But if you sit there and think about if something like this was real, just be like, oh god, why don't you just let it die? Instead of just pushing this on. If I say anything more, then it'll probably give it away, but it's just, god, just let it die. Holy shit. The next one is called Greased. A girl's family runs a yakiniku shop that's a kind of grilled meat, is downstairs from their house, and since the shop is under them, all of the grease and the film and stuff from the yakiniku shop goes into their house, so everything is covered in oil and grease. For some reason, her brother chugs this oil, and it's only making him pimply and oily and gross. The story's just gross in general. It's definitely, like, horror, as in, like, oh god, that's disgusting. It also takes a weird turn that I wasn't expecting. And at the end, there is a bonus story. It's another story in the fashion model thing where it's following, it has the same monster. A girl with a phobia of her photo being taken with less than anything than her full body becomes the model. When the magazine prints out only a half photo where her lower half is cut off, she starts freaking out. And the scary monster fashion model lady from the story fashion model shows up in it too. Gave that one a 7 out of 10. That's about it for now. I'm taking a little bit of a break from manga. I actually finished a novel, and I'll be doing a video on that one soon. Like, subscribe, and all that noise. I'll see you in the next one, folks. Later.